Thank you. Thank you all very much. You're far too kind. And how cool is this? A lift, or as you say in your country, an elevator, right in the middle of the stage floor. How cool is that? What a grand entrance that makes. I just love this city. I love coming here. New York has got to be my favourite place in the whole world. And you know, there are so many songs written about New York City. But what I don't like is the amount of air traffic there is at the airport. Coming here last night, I thought for a while we were never going to land. I thought for a moment I was going to be stuck in between the moon and New York City. Now that's a line supposedly written by a fellow Australian of mine, Peter Allen, some many years ago, when his plane was stuck in a holding pattern waiting to land at New York International Airport. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with the show. And what I'd like to do is start with an oldie but a goodie. And this goes back to my early childhood, when I had a dog. Now this dog had no nose. How did he smell, I hear you ask? Bloody awful. A friend of mine had a crocodile. And one day he was taking his crocodile for a walk down the street on the end of a piece of rope. And a policeman came up to him and said, "Hey, listen, mate, what do you think you're doing with that crocodile?" My mate said, "Well, I'm taking him to the zoo officer." And the officer said, "Oh, well, that's all right then, off you go." The next day, he was walking down the street with his crocodile, and the same policeman came up to him and said, "I thought you told me yesterday you were taking that crocodile to the zoo." "Yes, officer, that was yesterday. I'm taking him to the pictures today." Now this horse walks into the bar, and the barman says, "Why such a long face?" Here's one about a travelling salesman. This salesman was driving through the countryside. It was starting to get dark and his car broke down. He saw a light in a farmhouse at the top of a hill, so he walked up to see if he could find some assistance. Now the farmer greeted him at the door, and he explained his predicament, and he asked if he could stay the night. And the farmer said, "Certainly, but you've got to understand, I've got a very small house. You'll have to share a bed with my 2 sons." And the salesman said, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, I think I'm in the wrong joke." You've got to know a lot about travelling salesman's jokes to get the picture. How do you make a fire with 2 sticks? Well, for a start, make sure one of them is a match. What's round and sticky? A stick. What do you call a funny mountain? Hilarious. Now, I'm starting to get a little bit old these days, and I'm thinking about death. And as I do, I think I'd really like to experience the same sort of peaceful death that my father experienced. A very peaceful death. In fact, he died in his sleep. It was the most peaceful death you could get. Peaceful for him, not so much for his passengers. Anyway, moving right along. And I'd like to finish with a joke that's really from my home country. What is a marsupial's favourite cocktail? A pina koala. Thank you all very much. You've been great.